subject, the garbage cans and leaving them out on the street. It is a solid waste issue. It is a solid waste ordinance, and they are revamping it now to try to put some teeth into the law because, yeah.
Do you see the city going back to how it was in the past when you had to? No? Okay.
No.
Because that's the number 1 grief that the association gets also.
Yeah. It's a big gripe all over the city, especially where you got large groups of students, because they leave them in the street. And they're thinking a couple of ways to try to solve it now is to leave it out there on the street. You know, the solid waste will tag it just like they do now, telling people move it back. If it's out there in they'll give them a couple of days to move it back. If it's not moved back, someone from solid waste will actually move it back for you, and then there will be some type of a assessment that will be put on your utility bill, and you either pay it or your electricity gets cut off. So, but you know, a lot of people are, and we actually had one of the men that he owns a lot of rental property here in Tallahassee. And what he has started doing, because he's had so many complaints, because when we write something up, we write up the property owner. We don't write up the tenant who lives there. The owner is ultimately responsible for what goes on their property. Okay? So he's been getting a lot of stuff directed towards him. So now what he is doing with the leases that these people are signing, and we're encouraging everybody, if you're a landlord, do it. He's putting in there that if he gets a complaint about garbage cans left on the street, he will have one of his employees go out, move this can and put it back towards the doorstep of your house, and then he will add $50 to your rent at the end of the month. And every time he moves it, it's another $50. So, and he said that's getting everybody's attention. You know, that can really mount up. So, any questions at all? I'll be glad to field anything you can.
Could you discuss, without naming names or addresses, the lady on the west side who has an $8,000 plus lien from the city for failure to care of premises?
Yeah, it's strictly high weeds and grass. That is her problem. And it's behind her privacy fence. And the weeds during the summertime are so high that they are above the privacy fence. And if you go on the city's right away on the back side of the house, I mean, you can't even hardly see the back door. The grass is so thick and the weeds are so high. And she just does nothing. But the house is homesteaded. That is her primary residence. And the city will not take somebody's primary residence. So there's signs out there, fines out there. There's a big lien every day. That lien goes up. I think it's $35 a day for every day she doesn't.
Do you know what the latest amount is on that property?
I think you just said 8,000.
Well, last time I talked to you, Wayne, she was at 8,000, and that's been about 45, 60 days ago.
Yeah, so I'm sure
it's
it's
about 25 or 35 a day times
That
that.
is like $35. It's either $35 a day or $25. So it's up there. So if she ever goes to sell the house or try to get a loan on the house or anything like that, it's going to come back to bite her.
DJ, when I talked with city employee Kelly, what's her last name, please?
Kelly Edwards.
Okay, she was a liaison to the magistrate, and she told me that if this lady would just come into the city and say, "I'm sorry, I've mowed the yard, clear cut it," she has seen them reduce these multiple $1,000 fines down to $500.
Yeah.
But this person is just obstinate or something. She just refuses. My understanding is that they can't reach her. She doesn't respond to any notices or anything at all.
Yeah. But at first we was almost thinking that nobody lived there. You know, like I said, she doesn't respond to anything. But the one day in which I went up there to post it, because she wouldn't answer her, she wouldn't go to the post office and pick up the registered letters to her. So when I was up there putting something on the door, telling her she had to be in front of the code magistrate, somebody peeked through the blinds. And so somebody definitely does live there.
She's an engineer. She hasn't paid her dues in 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, so we're getting liens set up on her too. What can you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can discuss later who this is and we'll tell you.
She was home. Up here.
It was big wheels.
They look, I